What is up, folks? Welcome to the latest episode of the Harold McBasketball Show. I'm your gracious host, as always, Harold McBasketball, and my co-host, as always, I know ball Paul, for the second time today. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. We're back to shoot another video. We just finished filming the season tournament reaction and predictions video, and now we're going to kind of do some teams that are exceeding expectations.
Yes, and if
Um,
if y'all have not seen the IST video yet, please check it out.
Please check it
Paul
out.
Paul will uh Paul will put the link in the description, so it'll be right there for you. Super easy.
And like, leave a comment if you think we're looking like we're getting in better shape, or we look good, or the skin looks good. Just leave.
Yeah, mustaches are looking fuller, perhaps.
Yeah, mine's coming along. I full shaved and now it's kind of yours has been, yeah, yours looks really full, very
It,
symmetrical.
yeah, it gets full when I want it to be. Like this is if I kind of like let it go crazy for a couple of days. Usually I kind of like trim around the lips and make it like this nice like just like little pristine mustache. But no, sometimes I like when it gets big and bushy. So I'm riding that right now.
I think big and bushy is the move.
I think so too. I think so too. I think it's I don't know,
Mine
got a
drives me
manliness
nuts.
to it that I like it.
There's like one little part on like the right side and the hairs don't grow as thick. It pisses me off.
And you just gotta edge it up. You just gotta figure out where you gotta cut off the stash and be like, this is just clean shaven.
I know it's all about edging, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, we big fans of edging on this podcast. Speaking of edging, maybe we'll start the show and stop edging our listeners. So teams that are overperforming. I've got a little list in front of me. Funny enough, I feel like we kind of nailed most of these. Like most of these were teams that we were pretty bullish on. Maybe there's some surprises in there, or at least even like overperformed beyond what we had expected. But I don't know. I really like these teams, so I think I was going to ask you who we want to start with, but I feel like we have to start with your Timberwolves, who you were super bullish on and have been amazing. They're the number one team in the West. I was super low on them. I was like, this team's gonna fucking suck again. But you nailed it. You nailed it. So go off.
It's funny because in one episode, I think I somebody wrote an article for ESPN and
Don't backtrack on this. No, 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 no. No one will remember that. No one will remember.
no, I'm
You've
not back.
backed up the Wolves enough. Okay, good.
I got whoever wrote the article. I said the wrong person. I think I said Bobby Marks. I think it was someone else that wrote it. Maybe it was Bobby Marks. I don't know. Said they were going to finish first in the West. Um, and even I was like, wow, that seems like a little bit high. I have them fit like third or fourth, and like that was going to be amazing. But um, the Wolves look fucking awesome. I feel so validated. I do because
One of the best takes ever.
yeah, I don't know, but at the end of last year when they were in the play in and they made the playoffs, I was I had picked them to make it through the play in, and I even thought that they were going to make waves, which I don't think they did, but um yeah, no, they look like a super solid regular season team, and as far as their big three, it's making a lot more sense. Like Rudy Gobert looks like the best defensive player in the NBA at this point. Anthony Edwards is like an incredible, like, he's living up to the expectations. I mean, we thought he could be maybe like an MVP candidate, not maybe quite there, but just his play
Yeah,
style.
yeah. There were definitely some talks about this offseason where we weren't like, you know, saying he's gonna finish number one, but definitely saying he'd like be in the discussion. I think he is right now. I think you can't deny it with the Wolves being the number one team in the
True.
West.
Yeah. No, yeah. I guess stats wise, he's still like a little bit not quite there, maybe. Whereas like someone like Tyrese Halliburton, you're looking at his stats and you're like, wow, these are MVP stats. But
For sure.
Ant's a pure scorer. He's more of like a system player over there. And but yeah, man, it's cool seeing Gobert back in form. I have Cat in fantasy, and he's looking like an awesome second scoring option. Cat's a surprisingly good passer. He will make some great finds from the top of the key, just like zip it down low to Gobert, alley oops. Like,
Yeah, Cat. He's a brilliant NBA player. It's like it's kind of easy to forget that he was the number one overall pick in like an absolutely stacked draft class. And for a while, like it kind of felt like he was like a top 10 NBA player. I don't think it's like out of the question that he would still feel that way if he was like the number one option on a team. But Edwards is so good that you kind of have to let him run the show. But I think Towns is still an incredible player and probably deserves more props because I think people got a little bit cold on him after one or two rough playoff performances or play-in performances. But he's a really good player and he's still like one of the most skilled big men in the league. Probably the best three-point shooting center in the league, if not in history. Like he's like consistent 40% plus from three on like 8 attempts per game. It's insane. So he's like such a nice fit with Gobert and Edwards because Edwards can just find him on the 3 point line. And like you can play this two big lineup because he spreads the floor so well for Gobert.
Yeah. And I think Ant and Cat need to develop a bit more chemistry and play off each other a little bit more.
Yeah, not a huge two-man game between them. I feel like the two-man game is usually with Gobert and Ant, and then maybe the Cat will get it after as like a second option on offense.
Yeah.
But I think it'll get there. I think it'll get there.
Because if Cat screens for Ant or vice versa, Ant can screen
Oh
for
yeah,
because
Ant screen for Cat would be awesome.
the short roll is there, and Cat, he just has the mindset of a guard. He wants to dribble and attack and kind of find his shots how he wants to find them. And I think he needs to get a little bit better at spotting up and whatnot. But I think if they really center the actions around Ant and Cat and playing off each other, I think this team could hit another level because both of them are such incredible scorers.
Yeah. To hit on something else that I think is maybe like the biggest thing that I overlooked this offseason is like the depth is really good on this team. Like Nas Reed was like really good to bring back. That was until we sold him, but like he's clearly amazing. Like last year was not a fluke. Mike Conley's still giving good minutes. Like he's not washed yet. He's still playing like 30 minutes per game. Just being a good point guard, still playing hard on defense, which is huge. Slow Mo isn't shooting it great yet, but still a good player. And Jay McDaniels is still like one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. He'll probably make an all defensive team if he can stay healthy. So the defense is like insane. Like the role players do their jobs on offense. Like the team is just like feels so cohesive already.
Nas Reed is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like so at this point, it's like we're already looking ahead to like playoffs for the Wolves. Like, how do you feel about them as like a playoff team right now? Are you like sold that they're a team that can make a deep run, or do you think they're like a regular season team that like could, have like a really hard first round matchup if they to play a team like the Clippers as the eighth seed?
Yeah, I think they could be a team that struggles against certain matchups. I still think they need to prove to me that they have like more of a go-to offense. I mean, defensively they're incredible, and I think they, Rudy Gobert is such a difference maker, and even Ant is such a great defender. Conley smart, whatever. But offensively, it's still, I don't know. Cat
Yeah,
sometimes
like
really starts hucking, even Ant does.
yeah, I'd be curious to know like how they stack up and like just like average points per game as a team because I think they win a lot of games like 106 to 100. So like the offense definitely is not as explosive as some of these other teams. So it's gonna be interesting to see what wins out in playoff time. Like if it's gonna be the dominant defense with a good enough offense, or if they're just gonna like struggle to slow down some of these incredible offensive teams come playoff time.
Yeah. And the parity in the league, I don't think that there's necessarily a matchup that the Wolves are gonna sweep immediately, but um they are very good, and I think they will remain a top three seed in the regular season. But come playoffs, I don't know. We've seen it before with Rudy, with Cat, so I'm not super convinced, but um, I give them a puncher's chance to make it to the Western Conference Finals as I would like even the Clippers or Suns or any of those teams really.
Yeah. Currently, the Timberwolves are 19th in the league when it comes to um, points per game at like 112, and like the top teams are like Pacers at like 130, Bucks 120, Thunder 120, Sixers 120. So definitely like some ground to be made up on offense, but the defense is so good that that might not be a problem.
Yeah. And Cat is getting better every game. Um, Gobert's getting better every game. Ants, it does feel like they're trending upwards, even as the number one seed. But
For
uh,
sure, for sure. Because I think you nailed it that Cat and Gobert can both start playing better. Then even some of the role players good too. So it's like this team's been like this good, and like it doesn't feel like you're playing to their full potential yet.
because also like the shooting is not great. I don't know where they rank as a team shooting wise, but a lot of those role players are not like great shooters, I think. I mean, Mike Conley's
Yeah,
a good,
let's see.
but Nikhil Alexander Walker and like Jaden McDaniels and Shake Milton, it's like, man.
Yeah, they're low key fifth in field goal percentage. I think a big part of that is like they get a lot of shots at the rim from like Gobert and Anthony Edwards. And then 3-point percentage, they're 11th, so like actually not terrible.
Okay.
I assume they don't take a ton of threes per game. As far as attempts go, they are 25th, so they don't shoot very many threes, but they make them at a decent clip. But that's kind of the offense right now. The offense is like their big three like demolishes inside, um, and they kind of need to just get by with their 3-point shooting. They definitely could use one more shooter. Like if they're going to try to make a move at the deadline to get better before the playoffs, that would be it. Like getting some kind of shooter on the team.
Yeah, I wonder who could be like a good fit there,
I
but
don't
yeah,
know, maybe like Luke Kennard. Someone needs to take Luke Kennard. He's still a good shooter. I don't know what team he's on. He doesn't really play. I think
the
he's on the
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Trade for him.
I haven't heard anything about him though. I mean, the Grizzlies are
Uh,
abysmal, but
yeah, you don't hear a lot about the Grizzlies these days.
I have watched a lot of Timberwolves, and I think it starts with like Ant and Cat just need to find like a pick and pop, kind of like some sort of dynamic pick and roll there, where each has a chance to handle it, the other has a go-to place, and they run that because the way it's currently set up, it's kind of Gobert and Cat or Gobert and Ant kind of doing a two-man game, and it ends with Cat or Ant pulling, you know, not a great shot sometimes, and it's like I feel like it's unsustainable, and it'll be even worse come playoffs. It can't be like a my turn, your turn kind of thing. It needs to be more dynamic.
Yeah, I agree, and I think Cat can also just be like taking more shots right now. He's taking like 11 shots per game, which is like good. Um, I don't know. Feels like they could just play through him a little bit more. Like maybe get that up to like 13, 14. Like that would feel a little bit better. Let's see, he's taking like 5 threes a game right now. Shooting 42% still from three. Like have him take like 10 threes a game. Like why not? Why not? Y'all need the 3-point shooting anyway. So I
Yeah,
feel like they could get a little more creative on offense with the Cat. I'd like to see that.
yeah, exactly. That's yeah. They need to get more creative. I think it hasn't clicked yet, but you know,
The
everyone's kind
defense
of
is
got their
amazing though.
role. Yeah, I'm rooting for them for sure. I'm rooting for them for sure. But guys like Jaden McDaniels, Kyle Anderson, they're good role players, but at the end of the day, they're not very dynamic offensively, and I worry that I worry about the offense a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that's understandable. So we'll see how they evolve, but they've definitely like built something here that feels like it's gonna last for a while. So at least it's like brighter days ahead for Minnesota, who really struggled to put together a competitive lineup for like a really long time, even though they have some good pieces. So it still feels awesome for Minnesota. It's about time.
Yes, I'm happy for them for sure. Anyway, who should we talk about next? I think maybe the second most feel good story is probably the Magic, who I think were
Let's do
sitting
it.
on top of the East for like a week or so.
Yep, yep, they definitely were. It's like I think they got a couple of losses recently, but like the team has still been really good. Like better than expected. Like we both thought the Magic were going to be pretty good this year, but we definitely didn't put them in like the top four in the East. Like I felt like the top teams in the East were definitely relatively locked up between Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia. I think for some reason we kind of put the Cavs in with that group also because they were really good last year. They've regressed a little bit this year. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Magic they've slid in there. They're at three right now. 14-6 is like very legit. Yeah, they're winning tons of games. The team looks good. The offense is nice. The defense has been like way better than expected. Yeah, it's just a good team. Like the pieces are kind of like they're finally just like coming together, and they just have a lot of talent now.
Yeah, I think they're like third or fourth ranked defense. That combination of forwards, somehow the 14 minutes a game that Jonathan Isaac gets, he makes
Dude, he's like Jonathan Isaac is like legit the best defensive player in the league. It's insane.
in 14 minutes. Yeah, it's he always has like a pretty crazy highlight play and
Yeah, let me. I need to pull up what his per 36 would be this season because I think he would literally have like 2 blocks and 2 steals every game. Oh,
yeah, it's got to
his
be
per
three.
36, it's 3.5 blocks, 2.5 steals.
Yeah,
Like that is ridiculous. He's so good. They're very slowly ramping him up right now. He's only averaging about 13 minutes per game right now, but even if they can get him up to like 25 minutes per game by playoff time, he is gonna be like such an incredible impact guy on that side of the court.
he seems so incredibly injury prone though. Like even in the
Totally.
12, 14 minutes he's getting, it feels like every other game he's sitting with like a hamstring or I don't know what.
Yeah, and you just like look at his build and it's like, yeah, he kind of does just like look like a newborn giraffe still, even though he's been in the league for like 5 years now. Like usually those guys can put on like some kind of weight to where it feels like, they're not totally walking on stilts, but still looks that way for him. But we're rooting for him. We're rooting for him.
I'm
Everyone
not
go buy his book. It's political activist.
not rooting for
I
Jonathan.
it yeah, it's a weird thing. I don't love him as a person, but he is such a fascinating player though that I do love watching him from a pure basketball perspective.
That's true. Yeah. No, and Franz and Paolo look amazing. I do expect a bit of an overall regression. Like I think they probably will fall to fifth or sixth in the East, as I think the Sixers will rise up a bit. I think the Cavs will also find their way at the top. I'm kind of
I think so too. And like I think the Heat are like back in contention over there. So they might slide a little bit, but they do feel like a legit playoff contender though. Like if they were in a series against, first let's say they get like the fifth or sixth seed, and like their first round matchup is like the Heat or the Cavs, I think they can win that. And I think most people would agree with that. Like they looked that good.
and Jalen Suggs, I think, deserves his flowers. I think he's like one of the only people that we considered like a bust in those early picks of the he's 2021 draft, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like I think when we redid that draft, I don't even think he cracked like the top 12. Like I don't think we even like considered him a lottery pick anymore.
And I think he was the fifth pick of that draft. And like there are still so many guys that you would take above him, but if he's finally kind of finding his role as like an energy guy, as a really solid defender,
But yeah,
offensive
he hustles so hard and like he's so
hustle.
passionate for the game and like you can see it. Like nobody's trying harder than he is out there on the court. So he feels like a really like good impact role player. At first I was like, why is he starting right now? Like it doesn't feel like he's really earned that. But as the season's gone on, like it's clear that he does. Like he fits in nicely in that starting lineup and he does give them a lot. So yeah, shout out Suggs. Shout out Suggs. He definitely like found his role and turned things around.
And him and Cole Anthony are a cool duo, and I think they get along really well on and off the court, and they just complement each other super well. One being more defensive minded, one being more offensive minded. But
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony, I legit think is like so good. I think as like an offensive player, he's just absolutely incredible. His best role like might be as a sixth man, but I do think he could like be, a very legitimate starting point guard. I think if he got the consistent minutes and was starting, like he could average 20 points per game. He's such a good piece to have off the bench. Like they're spoiled at the guard position right now.
if um if I'm the Magic GM, like I'm definitely thinking at this point that Suggs and Anthony could be like a legitimate part of the future. Obviously, Franz and Paolo are pretty locked in as the future core. Um, but yeah, like I'm seeing really early signs of a nice cohesive group, and Anthony and Suggs are two really cool players that complement the team really well. They need to find a five. They need to just find like an awesome big guy.
Yeah, who knows though? It's like I mean, obviously like Wendell Carter Jr. doesn't really play. He's always injured, but he's still young. Like if he can stay on the court, like maybe it could be him.
That
Also, Bill
is
Wagner's like kind of been good this year. He's averaging like 13 points per game, and he's like giving them pretty good minutes. Obviously, as like a playoff team, like you do want to upgrade at that center position, but if Wendell can come back healthy, like they might be able to get by just with like how good their forwards are.
Is Goga on that team or is he on the Pacers? I think he's on the Magic.
Go Goga is on the Magic, and Goga has actually also been like giving them good minutes.
Yeah, he's looked okay.
Like Zach Lowe was talking about him recently. It's like, yeah, he like kind of changed his game where he came into the league as like a stretch three and like wasn't really good at shooting threes, so he couldn't really find the minutes. And like the Magic just like totally changed up his play style, and they're like, okay, like you're just gonna come in with energy and like bruise people down low because you're still massive. That's what he's been doing, and he's been good for him.
Yeah, who knows? Jonathan Isaac could certainly defend bigger guys and be a rover kind of guy. So,
Totally.
but
Yeah, I like this team. I feel like we also didn't talk about Franz a little bit more. Franz is like leading this team in
yeah,
scoring right now. I think people like expect like the huge bump from Banchero this year to where like Banchero would score like 26 a game and then Franz would be kind of like the clear second option on offense. But I think he's been like their best offensive player, at least from like pure points and efficiency standpoint. Like he's looked phenomenal. Like he's so good.
fucking love Franz. Damn, I'm surprised though. Paolo is shooting 44% from three.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like really good efficiency there.
Franz is
Let's see
shooting
how many
40.
he's taking per game. He's only taking three threes per game for Banchero, but good efficiency. Like Banchero's interesting because even like his let's see, what's his 2 point efficiency? Yeah, almost 50%. Like Banchero's been efficient this year. He could probably just take more shots because like the scoring efficiency has like been great from him, and like the rebounding is awesome for him. The assists have like immediately been there. He's averaging 5 assists per game as like their power forward, which is incredible. So he's just like an amazing all around player. But like, yeah, I still feel like he can just be a little more aggressive on offense. That's kind of like the last thing they're needing.
Right now, I think him and Franz are really like neck and neck for who's the better prospect. I think edge to Paolo, of course, but Franz is proving to be super efficient, super dynamic. Um, yeah, I how I feel about Franz, but the team still gets to the line at like I think the second highest rate in the NBA, which is I think a big indicator that this team is aggressive and going to keep being a good offense while also balancing one of the best defenses in the NBA. So
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like Banchero gets 6 free throws per game. Also, my headphones just died, so my apologies. My audio quality like goes in the toilet right now, but get over it. You're already watching the video at this point, so you're stuck.
yeah,
That would be like Cole Anthony gets like 5 per game. It's like this like little point guard, but he's just like such a good all around offensive player. So yeah, it's a very efficient team. I forget who their head coach is. Is it still Clifford? Um,
that's who came to mind, but I don't think so.
it is not. It is Jamal Mosley, who I do not know, but yeah, he has like done an incredible job with his team. Like the offense is just like super efficient. The defense is amazing. He's absolutely nailed it with his core, and it feels like they're playing like I don't know. It's like the sum is greater than the parts with this team.
Yeah, yeah. I love the Magic. I love watching them, and I hope they continue this success. And I think they should feel good about Suggs and Cole Anthony, who I think were kind of touted as potential trade pieces. Now they're like, okay, maybe these guys can stick around for.
Yeah, and they got Anthony on like this insane bargain contract. They just extended him this offseason for like 3 years, 39 million. So he's making like 13 million a season, which is kind of like the going rate for like bench players who like might get like 15, 18 minutes a game. So to get like a potential like 6 man of the year candidate on that kind of contract is like insane. Because it feels like he's already worth 20 million plus.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting when Markel comes back if he's able to like keep a strong role. It feels like they kind of I don't know. They don't totally give him the respect I feel like he's earned as such a good scorer, but
Yeah, he has been really good for them, but they do have a little bit of a logjam at the point guard position.
yeah.
As good as Fultz is, like great defender, big guy, great passer, great in transition. Like he is like really good now. Like, he's a great player, but it's like I don't know if I really want to take away like that many minutes from like Cole Anthony to like go back to Fultz. So I'm kind of curious how they balance all of them. But I think they'll figure it out because they haven't even been starting Cole Anthony with Fultz out. So I forget who's been playing it. I think they've been starting Anthony Black at point guard actually.
They have.
Who I haven't seen a whole lot out of him yet because like they start him, but they still only play him like 15 minutes per game. So I think when Fultz is back, they just take those minutes away. Probably, maybe Anthony and Suggs both lose like 5 minutes each, and like that's it. I think that would work.
Maybe trade Markel. Who knows? Maybe that's the.
We'll see what Anthony does because it's like I know Anthony's like a really good sixth man, but like I don't know. I kind of think this team should start him. He's just like so good on offense.
Yeah. And the recreating the iconic Dwayne Wade to LeBron alley-oop was
so
fun.
So fire. Who was that with? Was that with Suggs?
Yeah, with Suggs to Cole Anthony.
So awesome. Yeah,
they timed it a tiny bit, like because Wade had his hands up while the ball had yet to be dunked, I think, but whatever. They still got it pretty on the.
Yeah, they nailed it. Okay, yeah, we love the Magic. I think that was all my takes on them. They're amazing. I think they'll keep it up. I love what they've done through the draft, and they're all like homegrown too, which is amazing. Other than Fultz, who they like sniped from the 76ers, but yeah, no, they've just done a really good job drafting.
Yeah, Magic and Wolves fans definitely deserve a bit of, good fortune and good basketball. They've been missing out. So,
yep.
Also on our list, we had the Pacers and the Thunder. Which one are you more inclined to talk about right now?
I feel like we gave the Pacers a big shout out in the last video. Yeah. So I'm okay with kind of like just like passing over them, like give them the shout out. Like they're awesome. They've exceeded expectations, but we've already ran through this roster. We're talking about the in-season tournament. So let's do Thunder, who have been absolutely incredible.
Yeah. The fifth ranked offense and defense in the NBA.
So good. Yeah, it's amazing like the leap this team took just by adding Chet essentially. It's like the core like is just like so perfect. It feels like between SGA, J-Dub, and Chet, it's like perfect. It's just like awesome point guard, awesome small forward, awesome center. They still have Giddey. We'll kind of see how things play out there. Like he might be the odd man out. But like regardless, like the rotation for the future like feels awesome.
What's crazy is I think on a podcast this offseason, we were reacting to maybe, I think Zach Lowe.
Yeah, Zach Lowe said that Josh Giddey might be the odd man out. And I was like, this is fucking stupid. I was like, Josh Giddey is amazing. And then even like to start off the season before, there were like these allegations against Giddey. Like he kind of felt like he was the odd man out, where it's like his minutes weren't as high as they had been in prior seasons. I think he was probably only averaging like 27, 28 minutes per game with like certain games he wasn't playing in the fourth quarter really, or you'd only get like 22 minutes that game. So it kind of felt like it was already moving in that direction. It's interesting. Like I think Josh Giddey's amazing, but they kind of get all they need out of the guard position from SGA to where like really all they need is like a complimentary guy who can shoot the ball really well.
It is crazy and not something I foresaw. And yeah, Josh Giddey's stock is down.
Yeah, we won't spend too much time on Josh Giddey here. Let's talk about the good things about the Thunder though. Like the young guys are amazing. And then also like J-Dub is also like this like amazing passer. It's like maybe another reason why like Josh Giddey's not as important, because I feel like J-Dub can do everything. But of course, like the new star of the show is like Chet, who is like come in as like an immediate like all-star caliber player. All the hype going into the year was like Wemby's like the easiest rookie of the year decision ever. Now Chet is favored. He has been that good. And he's just like such an impact player. It's like his efficiency is amazing. His three-point shooting is great. The handle is really good. And then like the defense is out of this world. It just feels like he blocks every shot.
Chet is unbelievable. And at this point, I think he's probably he's just as likely to win rookie of the year. But he looks so much more put together than Wemby, and that's something I think
so polished. The handle is incredible, and like the jump shot is so pure.
He looks like KD.
And he's in OKC, very fitting. They can run it back now. They just don't squander it this time. And like by all accounts, like they're not going to. So like even with like the Josh Giddey thing like kind of blowing up, by all accounts, they're gonna like hold on to everybody as long as they can to try and not make the same mistake of like letting a young guy go too early.
right? There is kind of some parallels there with the early OKC teams. They feel very top heavy, but I think I am surprised to see that Dort, I think we knew was a decent contributor, but Kaysen Wallace, I think I always butcher his name. I think it is Kaysen Wallace
It
though.
is Cason Wallace. Cason Wallace is amazing.
He's shooting like 52% from three or something. Isaiah Joe has looked really nice in his limited minutes.
Yeah.
Bertans has even shown like I think he's been like overall like pretty ineffective,
Yeah.
but he had a couple good games. He had a highlight where he just popped a
Yeah.
three like
The Latvian laser. It's like the stroke is still there and he's missing a finger. It's incredible.
is he?
Yeah, he's missing a finger on his shooting hand.
Really?
Yes.
Who was that also had that? Wasn't it
I forget who also had that.
fucking he was on the Celtics. It's
Oh, it was
Gerald
Green.
Gerald Green.
Gerald Green. He was also missing a finger.
Well, I
But like
didn't
what's interesting is that like Bartons is like a sniper. And he's missing a finger.
know. Whoa, yeah, he is. Oh, this is like the least important finger though.
Yeah, and it's like it's not like fully missing. It's like a nub. It's kind of like this. But yeah, no crazy. And like what's good about the Thunder is like they still have all these guys on like rookie deals. So it's like Giddy, Chet, and J Dub, all rookie contracts. All are still on these contracts for at least 2 more seasons. So they're not like dumping that much money. Like a lot of their contracts right now are contracts that they've taken on from other teams to get picks back. But those should be coming off the books soon to where I think like next season they will have a little bit of money to spend on just like 1 or 2 more role players. I think once they do that, like this team will like really be there. Because then not only will they have this like insane, duo of Chet and SGA, but they'll have like the complementary role players there as well.
Yeah, no, I think the Thunder have the best young duo in SGA, who's like 25 now at this point, but
Like still super young and like
still
he was in
super.
the MVP conversation last year, and like it feels like he's going to be there every year from here on out. And like now his case is so much better because like the Thunder are actually this amazing team.
Yeah. And like, you know, obviously Chet's I think only 21, but J Dub is 23 or 4. SGA is 24, I think. So those guys could be competing for a championship, kind of in that contender talk. In a couple of years, I don't think it's that far out. Whereas, the Magic, I think Franz and Paolo are still like 21, 20 or whatever. So
Yeah, and like as good as like Franz and Paulo have been, it's like it feels like there's no comparison between like that duo and like SGA and Chet. Because I would straight up rather Chet over
both.
Banchero and Franz, and it's like they have him and SGA.
Who-
I think there's a legitimate discussion that like 2 or 3 years from now, like who is going to be more valuable to that team, Chet or SGA? Like they're both that good.
Yeah. No, Chet is the GOAT. Chet's awesome.
He's legit so good. I think he could legit be an all-star this year. Like we'll kind of like see how things shake out around voting time, but he's at least getting votes at this point. And with how good the Thunder are, like they're currently second in the West. Like if they're still second in the West come voting time, like this could be a team where it's like, how do you not get them 2 all-stars?
I think they're going back to the East versus West format too. So maybe there's going to be some snubbing happening, but it should be interesting to see because I think there are better forwards in the West. No, I don't know. That's just a guess.
Yeah, it might be stacked, but like I don't know. Like this, what's interesting, he's only averaging like 18 points per game. It feels like he's doing more than that, but it's also just like his impact on the defensive end. Like he's getting 2.2 blocks and 0.9 steals, so like 3 stocks per game. Like that's incredible. And the efficiency is like off the charts. He's shooting, sorry, not 20. He's shooting 60% from 2 and 40% from 3. Like that's like he's playing with like center efficiency in the paint, but then he also just shoots 40% from 3 on like high volume and like tough shots too.
Feels like that's a theme. Like Cat, take more shots. Chet, take more shots. Franz, take more shots, guys. Fuck your efficiency. You deserve.
Yes, I completely agree. Yeah, because right now he's taking 12 shots per game. He's taking more than Cat, which is good. But he can literally just take more. He's so good.
Yeah, but it feels like it's coming. I'm seeing more 30 bombs. here and there.
For sure. He's only getting better. He's only played 20 games in the NBA. So it's like, yeah, it's only getting better from here.
Yeah. Well, do we feel like touching on the Pacers? No, we've said everything.
I think we're good. We got a few minutes left, so like maybe we should get like some mini shout outs to some teams. We only you go like 2 in depth, but
Oh yeah, there's one.
Yeah. All right, we need to get your team. I'm gonna shout my Rockets. They've lost a couple of games as of recently. They've had a hard schedule, but it's gonna get easier again. So I think they'll get back in the playoff picture. They've looked really good, so I'm really happy for that team. Kind of seeing how they're turning out. That's like my big shout out. Like that's pretty much it.
My shout out is the Raptors. I fuck with the Raptors.
They're 11th. We thought they were going to be 11th. Like they're exactly where we thought they were going to be.
I don't care. They're on the come up. Scotty Barnes, just my official apology to him because he's awesome. I love Schroeder. I don't think this team has like crazy upside, but I think they could sneak their way to like 7th or 8th, and be a fun playoff matchup, potentially making it into the next round. I don't know. It's just a feeling. But they might just blow it up at the trade deadline. So who knows? Yeah,
they're in an interesting spot. But yeah, definitely. Yeah, shout out to Scotty Barnes. He's been incredible this year. Like he can be a potential all-star this year. And then like some of their pieces just like worked out nicely. Like Schroeder's been really good. So like shout out him. Outside that, I don't really know. It's like Pirtle's been like pretty good. I kind of expected him to get more minutes. Yeah. Siakam hasn't been amazing this season either. So it's like, I don't know if I totally love this team, but like I do love Scotty. Scotty is incredible.
Scotty has been insane. I still can't believe because I was so out on Scotty, and I think I even maybe pulled you down with me, but
no, I was with you on that. It was tough to it's like the efficiency just seemed like it was really gonna struggle for him. But that's changed in a big way because it's like rookie year was like 30% from 3, then 28%. So I don't know. It felt like maybe it was me, this guy that's like good defender, good passer, but wasn't really going to take the leap in scoring necessary to like really be like an all-star kind of guy. But he's made this year. He's shooting 38% from 3, taking a lot more of them. Almost 20 points per game, 2 steals per game, 1.3 blocks, and just like a menace on the defensive end. Like that doesn't even really do him justice because he can guard anybody, hustle so hard. He's just an incredible player. So I think he definitely deserves an all-star bid this year.
And he's shooting well, I think. What happened?
Yeah. His let's see. His field goal percentage is at 46%, which isn't like crazy, but like his 3-point percentage is at 38%, which is like good. It's like above league average on 5 threes per game. So like that's huge for him, who seemed like he may not ever figure out the 3-point shot.
I wouldn't mind seeing I think Bill Simmons suggested a Kuminga and Wiggins for OG trade. And I was like, you know what? That would be fun. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, Wiggins has definitely been struggling, but I don't know. I don't know. Actually, I don't totally hate that. It's like for the Warriors, you get someone who is probably gonna be an impact player for you immediately. And then I guess your boy Kuminga, like the minutes he really needs to show a bit more. So I don't know. I get it. I like that move. We don't have to wrap this up in a second, but yeah. And Scotty Barnes.
Real quick, I think Kuminga should be getting more of those minutes. Stop giving him to Wiggins. And Sasha should be getting the minutes over Harrison Barnes, in my opinion.
Yeah, the Warriors have been sad. Maybe the next episode we do will be like teams that are underperforming, and then we can talk a little bit more about like Clay, Wiggins, and like the mess that is the Warriors right now.
Yeah, let's do it. But at this point, it has been another episode of the Harold McBasketball show. We did 2 episodes in one sitting, so I'm ready to go lay down and watch basketball, but it's been real. It's been fun. Send us off, Harry.
Yeah, big fantasy night. So thank you all for tuning in. You worked extra hard today producing 2 episodes for y'all. So make sure to like, subscribe, do all those fun things, hit the bell notification. Why not? And yeah, we'll see you all next week.